Hello, welcome. If you're viewing, appreciate you joining us today. This is the World Tour in the H145. I got a nice flight today. We're running from Phuket to Sultan Azlan Shah in Malaysia. Have a few stops along the way possibly, and I hope you'll stay with us. The stream is lacking. I need 5 viewers to just type something into chat. Oh no, we passed that. That's right. Hey, wake up. I am gone to sleep. Yes, it is. I fought so long to get that 5. Force of habit. So it did. Passed it yesterday, but Zeta Boy, appreciate you joining the stream. Caxips6, appreciate you joining, and Def B with another TV viewer. I see another TV viewer is not a bot. That is a person on the stream. So welcome. Appreciate your loyalty to the stream and jumping in all the time. Thanks, Zeta Boy. Force of habit. It'll be okay. So, bringing Discord up live, and they'll join us for comms. You're welcome to join us on the comm channel at, oh no, I think I've got, I bet I've got my Discord programmed in there instead of the Hype Discord. We're on the Hype Discord servers again. I think I forgot to change that. Yeah, that's mine. Everybody with us that's going to fly today? Just look around real quick and get a feel. Everybody on the ground ready?
I'm ready.
I see 4 NX here, 4X, down at the end of the line.
4X is ready.
Yes, sir. Chris. He dropped out of our Discord, did he? I don't see him on the ground.
I can see his name tag.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder why I don't. Maybe he's too close to me. Is he over here in the parking lot? Where do you see?
I think he's on the apron. He's behind a plane or a hangar, I'm not quite sure. I can just see his name tag.
He said he was stepping out, he'd be right back. I thought he had made it back though. Hard to keep up sometimes. Give it a few minutes.
Are we ready to go?
I haven't seen Chris moving yet. Not sure if we lost him or. Why are you going down to the other end of the runway?
Well, that's what ATC told you, 27.
Well, that's actually the end that the everything called for. I just wondered. Everybody else went down the other end. You do that about every time. Go to the opposite end of the runway of everybody.
Yeah, because I listen to ATC. That's the way the wind goes.
Yes, sir. You did good. That is not supposed to happen.
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, no problem. I knew something wasn't right. You wasn't answering up.
That'll be the kids.
Right. They're great when they're somebody else's.
They're not even great then, to be honest with you.
Huh?
I said they're not even great when they're somebody else's, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I used to tell my grandkids, Grandpa doesn't like little children. He loves his grandbabies, but he doesn't like little children.
how did they took it?
How did they take it, Iceman?
What's that?
I think Bosader asked how did they take it.
Oh, they take it
Yeah.
well. They know I love them.
Yeah, that's good.
They understand what I mean. We never lied to our kids. We always told them, just the truth, no matter how it hurt, and then explain, to soften the blow. But yeah, I got smart kids. Okay, so where you at, Chris?
I'm just starting up now, heading for the runway.
Okay, so you're on the tarmac over here. That's what he said anyway. I couldn't see your tag. You must be just real close to me.
Yeah, I'm directly underneath you, that's why.
Roger. No, up.
Okay, I'm taking off.
Roger that.
H145 Yankee Papa Echo contact Bangkok Center on 123.9 or 5. Good day.
My brightness binding is lowering. I mean, my toggle for the iPad is lowering my brightness. Uh-oh. A good conflict.
145 Bangkok Center, altimeter 29.9 or 2, continue as planned.
He's changed the binding on the brightness. And I don't think it's on the tablet at all. Oh, I see. There we go. I gotta get these back up where I can see them. Sorry. Brightness isn't coming up. Well, I can't hardly see. And I just don't know how to get the lights to come up on the dash. We've got a problem, Houston. That figure. Well, let's proceed. Maybe I'll figure it out. Got one leg that I ran into last night trying to plan ahead. It's like 420 miles or something right there close. I'm not sure we're going to make it across the water in a helicopter.
Where's that?
I forget. It's going down to toward New Zealand. I shortened the plan last night, took off the bottom round Australia and cut it straight across from Darwin to why am I so far off? From Darwin to straight across there anyway. We've got, I forget what the name of the airport is. Yep, that did not work. Nose down. It's going to be a long flight.
So you just mentioned New Zealand. Is that back on the cards then? Because I know yesterday you were talking about just staying to the north on the Australia leg.
Well, we're going to run the north of Australia, I think, and then jump up to Paw in New Guinea and come down through the islands. And I've made a route that I think I can make it if I stay sea level. You get better fuel mileage at sea level. That's right, right?
Other way around.
Other way around. It seems like it takes me so much fuel climbing. I'm not sure. I thought.
Yeah, suppose it to trade it off really, because if it's a longer flight, the higher you can get, the more fuel you save. Obviously, if it's a shorter flight, then like you say, you're going to expend more fuel getting up to that altitude in the first place. So it's a bit of a trade-off, really.
Copy.
Mind you, I saw a H145 up to what was that guy up to yesterday? About 70,000 feet.
You're not watching the hype Discord, are you? Usually, you don't watch the H145 discussion.
Not usually.
Yeah, there was a big to do about it. I think Dave's going to fix that pretty quick, especially after a video surfaced.
Because he was streaming himself, that guy, yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, apparently Dave saw the video, or Confused Dad watched it and reported it on the site. Dave said, "Oh yeah, he set that so that it's been a long time. He set it up so that people wouldn't get discouraged because they could only get 8,000 feet, and he didn't want them to just stop playing it because they couldn't, climb mountains."
Yeah.
So he put it back to where he can. It's still in beta. It's got some work to do on it. It'll be all right. He's going to put buttons on it or something in the pad where you can choose to break all of the rules and fly it like however you want.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Okay, we're in the air and we're going.
All right.
Hey,
How's it going, Chris?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Doing good.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Bit of a tailwind today.
I'm getting 116 at 24.
11,000 feet.
I see truck mat and 4X. Now somebody. Oh, that's an A320. Okay. I don't see anybody but truck max or truck mat, and that's it. Oh, there's
Right
Bo.
above you.
I see. I see Bo anyway. He's off to the distance there, way above me.
Well, I can see you.
I had to run out and get the dog.
Heard that.
It's me.
Yeah, so I heard that. Oh, my altitude button works again. Yes. Only it's mapped backwards, isn't it? Yes, it is. Well, maybe it doesn't work.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
So we didn't decide if we're stopping at these airports as we come to nosedive. Autopilot is worthless.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Well, there's Arabs. And have this too. Welcome. Appreciate you joining us again today. Orthodox. Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate y'all coming by.
I let the dogs out at 1 o'clock. Here it is 2:30. They come home finally, all of them. Usually they go out at 3:30 again, but not tonight. They'll get out about 4:30. I let them out 4:30, 4:45. That way they don't bother anybody going to work. We get new people tonight?
Discord?
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at the tags. 4X NIR?
4X has been a member of the Simply Simulator server and has flown with us before. He's joined
Okay.
us today, yes.
The more, the merrier.
I don't see
Yeah.
that.
Welcome to the group. Or welcome back, at least.
Well,
Thank you.
I don't see the more the merrier. Where's he?
Oh, the jokes have started early.
Here we go again.
You know what? You know what you call somebody with that joke? A commodian.
Oh, dear.
Because that's where that joke belonged.
in the commodian?
Exactly.
We got a cruise ship over here.
Yeah, I've been looking at trying to download the global shipping, but they've taken it back off again. Apparently, it's got some issues on the marketplace. I mean,
I think the Orbix one is good.
well, there's one on at the moment, and it's for the southeast of England, and it's boats, that kind of thing. You know, like leisure craft, that kind of sort
Right.
of. But then you think, well, you do that for the southeast of England, and then what? You do it for the southwest, and then the northwest, and then all the other countries. So I just wanted something really where, you know, like you say, it's anything global, really.
Yeah, there is a global AI ships. I like the carriers, of course, because of the helicopter. You know, like to land where I want to.
I think the only thing with carriers is it'd be nice if you could place them where you wanted instead of them being placed for you.
Well, they have one carrier, and I think they placed 5 or 7 of them around the globe, and then you have your choice of one location that you can submit to them, and they will place for you there and send you that piece of scenery to add to your collection. So you get like 7 carriers, and one you can place randomly anywhere on the globe, but it's only good for, you know, that one location. In other words, if I want it to sit, like we were talking about making the Bering Straits, and you're right, the Bering Straits are no problem. Coming across from, oh man, I was looking at it. It's one of those
Look.
things.
Well, coming across from Russia over into Alaska.
Oh, the Suez Canal.
Coming up across Greenland.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You have to go the Greenland route, or you're going to have to find somewhere on the water to fuel. And the carriers are too distant in Superstead's pack.
Well, you can hit Iceland.
Yeah. I had a hard time getting across that hump, that portion of the pond. You have to. It's like 700 miles unless you follow land.
I mean, the only other thing to consider is if you go way north, and then you've kind of got that kind of frozen ocean, haven't you? Then, but that's in the winter, obviously.
Well, but you still got to have somewhere to at least fictitiously fuel. It's like running the bottom side of Australia. I was looking at that, and there's nothing but military bases. All of Australia, it's wild. I got to looking at that last night, and it's all military. If it's an airfield, it's a military airfield, and it's restricted.
But that's
So-
what all the civils and research uses
Yeah.
when
So-
they go
so-
there.
Yeah, call for in-flight refueling.
Yeah. Why not?
Can you not carry some jerry cans in the back?
Well, unfortunately, the H-145 is not fitted with a nose cone for the refuel.
Well, that's a bummer.
So the refueling guy sends a guy out on a rope with a hose. He pops your cap, he fills you up, and then he goes off. Hopes he doesn't get hit with the blades.
I don't know what you guys are doing in a flight simulator. Why don't you just get a box and pretend?
Oh, one thing you forgot there, Matt, he's going to obviously wipe the windshield for you as well before he disappears.
Well, that's true. That's true. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking about if you could be like if they had a game where you were the captain of an aircraft carrier at wartime. That'd be pretty neat to be the commanding officer, having somebody steer that thing.
In FSX, Aaron Wilker created the Nimitz, and it was pilotable. It had to be 30 different views around the ship, and I took it from Cape Hatteras through the Gibraltar, through the Straits of Gibraltar, all the way to Tel Aviv.
I went through the Suez Canal in an aircraft carrier in real life 4 times, and that's pretty hairy at night. Because that Suez Canal really isn't that wide.
No.
Did you say you went through on an aircraft carrier, Matt?
I was on an aircraft carrier when we went through the Suez Canal at night.
Wow. Sounds hairy.
Well, that was the first time they had ever done that. We dressed it up as an oil tanker, strung lights up and everything, and took all the aircraft and put them down below, and then we went through, and we had gunships all the way around us. And our fighters were in the air loaded.
Wow.
That's cool.
This is when we were going to get Muammar Gaddafi.
It was it Gaddafi that was largely blamed for Lockerbie?
Yeah. He threatened the United States and, said, don't come past this line. And Ronald Reagan said, screw you, I'll go anywhere I want.
Yeah, Reagan didn't mince his words either, did he?
No. But, that whole thing was like, who's the bigger fool? The guy who started the fight or the guy who keeps it going?
It's just one big, one big trouble after another in it over the Middle East, basically. It's a real mess, really.
Oh, yeah. Should have just pulled out of there, told them all, go to hell, kill each other, and we'll come in and sweep up later. And there's only one reason we didn't do that, and that's Israel.
H-145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
I've been to Israel, too. That's a nice place.
Oh, is it? I've never been. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice. And 14-year-old girls running around with the M16s. Yeah, it's real nice.
That's weird.
We ran into a girl. She was 14 years old. She was in the military.
Already in the military.
Yeah, well, it was a real hot time back then, you know.
Okay. But don't men and women have to serve? It's like conscript army in Israel, right?
Yeah, they both serve.
Yeah, and it's like 2 years or what?
Yeah,
Two,
yeah.
three years.
The Norwegian army is a very nice army. They were very lax, and they could grow their hair longer, and they get, you know, what happened was the guys told us they don't go home all the time, and what happens is the military takes a portion of their pay and sends it directly to their family.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
They take care of their people.
Yeah.
Their hangar, their maintenance hangar, is in the side of a mountain, inside the mountain, and it's you never. Oh my God, it was amazing just to go in there and see them. They drive the airplane right inside the mountain, down a ramp, and then stop. These big doors open up that are like 2 feet thick, and they're on a hydraulic shaft, and they open up, and then the plate falls, and then they push the airplane in.
Sounds like Doctor Evil's layer, that.
Yeah, well, you know what it was? It was all because of World War II. You know, they they have these. You fly over the land, you see these ups and downs. It looks like, you know, just bumps in the ground. Well, inside every one of those bumps is a jet,
Wow.
and it's hooked up with a hose in the back to the engine. So they start the engine right there, and there's a guy pulls the hose off, and they open the doors, and out they go.
Wow.
And
Hey, folks.
it's all covered by grass. You can't even see the damn things.
Hey, Bo, say that we went to Greece last year on holiday and we met a few Finnish friends. I didn't realise that they have national service there, don't they?
Yeah, we do. We do. I think almost at least 90% of men have been to army.
Yeah, I never realised that until we got talking.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know if we mention it that much. Usually, it's normal to us that everyone has been in the army.
I think the worst thing they ever did in the United States is stop the draft.
What's that, like national service, you mean?
Yep. You know, the draft was, you know, you got your number and you told when to go.
Yeah, I think they stopped that here in the UK. I think it was probably the maybe 60s, maybe.
Hey, J Bob,
Oh, it was
welcome,
the
welcome.
80s.
Appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, they did the same thing in Sweden. I think it was in
Uh-oh.
2000, early
How did I
2000.
do that?
And they
That's
started
not gonna
having
work.
problems, you know, getting people joining.
Taxi via Zulu.
the
Very
Ukraine
good.
thing,
Appreciate
they
you joining
started
us. Hello, new viewer.
They made it conscript back.
Thank you. Appreciate the follow.
Well, the United
Excellent.
States should
One
have
more. One more for the
They
book.
made a 4-year term.
Trying to get 50
You
here.
know, and then 2 more. When you get out, you do reserve time.
Appreciate you joining us, guys.
You know, and it'd be smarter because these kids got no discipline now. They don't know anything. You know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And not only that, you know, it opens up jobs.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Yeah, I think most, well, not maybe most, but a lot of guys get their like truck license from the Finnish Defense Force from their service time.
I think I know. Sure I do.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. A lot of military guys get their bus license in the Navy.
Do you have like bus license and a truck license? Are they separate or? Because we
Yeah,
have like A license, B license, C and D license, and one one is for typical cars and one is for trucks. And if
yeah,
you have,
we have a
if,
Class C, which is for your cars and pickup trucks and stuff like that. But anything over a certain weight is a Class A, and what happens is you can have a Class A with a add-on of a bus.
oh, okay, okay.
You have to
That,
have hazmat and all that stuff.
that's in China?
No, that's in America.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah. That sound like the U.S. I thought it did.
Yeah, that's how they work it in the United States. You have your bus license. It's on your. If you have a truck license, and then you take your bus test. Like I had to have hazmat and all that stuff, hazardous material, cargo and stuff, so you can haul that. You can't even haul containers of Coca-Cola syrup if you do not have a hazmat certificate. Because Coca-Cola syrup is an acid.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The syrup itself is, if it spills, it's a mess to clean up. So it's like those bottles, those little bottles of nail polish for girls. Well, that's acetone. And if you have so many of those and a certain weight, then you have to have, listed as hazardous material.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It all goes by weight. We have bridge restrictions, of tunnel restrictions, all that stuff in the United States for hauling hazardous materials. Can't, and you're riding down and there's no hazardous materials, and they give you a route to go.
Yeah.
I kind of like truck driving. It was all right. I wish I just had more time off than driving. Then you could stop, leave your truck at a truck stop, and then go get a car and go ride around or something. I think I'm 56 miles out from the first stop. I don't know.
4.5.
Wow.
Landing on runway 08.
I'm still 25 miles out almost. Lo, how'd you get that high up there in front of me? Oh, well, anybody can get in front of me at 20 knots.
So the name of the first place is Dalan, Dalan.
I believe it's Trang.
Oh, Trang. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Trang.
Yeah, it's Trang.
And it'll be a 59-foot elevation, runway 81, and 26.
Yeah, I had a wonderful day at banking today.
Well, I don't want to talk about banking.
I hate the. Oh my God, I hate the banking here. You know, you go in, you ask one person, another person tells you something different. You know, it takes you 4 hours to do anything in the bank here.
Sounds like Asterix and Obelix in Rome.
I got a notification that my phone company was going to hit me for several $100s out of my little piddly fixed income that came in yesterday, and the text message alerted me that it was pending. So I called the bank right away because Verizon wouldn't fix it. So I called the bank. They assured me that it had been taken care of. That transaction had been blocked. This morning, first thing, look at my text message. Thank you for your payment.
Is that recoverable?
Is that what? Not legal? No, it shouldn't be. I don't think.
Or recoverable?
Recoverable? I owe it to them, but they were supposed to take it in 2 payments so that I could afford it. When they took it all in 1 payment, I wasn't able to afford it. And I called them, I told them, I said, this is going to cost me, be able to pay my rent. Or we can't, change any of it. It's already been listed. So I called the bank. I said, okay, well, I can, if it's just pending, I can stop the payment. Sure, no problem. They said they stopped the payment. Maybe it's an automated text I got this morning that thanked me for my payment even though they didn't get it.
That's a possibility.
I've got to look at, I haven't had a chance. Like I said, this came in just before the flight, so I didn't go look at my balance to see if they withdrew it.
We have what we call WeChat here. It's a online communication system,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you can attach your card, or your WeChat card can be attached to your bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to me. And they screwed it up when they originally issued the card. And I kept getting this message: something is wrong. You're doing something illegal. Blah blah blah. You know. So I went to the bank and they straightened it out. They said, "Oh, it was just a spelling error in your name." So they straightened it out. And then all of a sudden it started kicking up again. And I went down the bank and they, oh no, and da da da, blah 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 blah. I said, listen, close the account. Just close it. Took them 4 hours to close the account. Put in your password, press the green button. Put in your password, press the green button again.
Yeah, I'm down and clear. I'm gonna have a small break, catching up some fresh air. Be right back. No worries.
I'll be honest, I did a good group flight a few weeks ago around the Alps, around the French Alps. And the guy doing it, he was French, and he was giving us a load of information on where we were flying and the history of it. And you know what? It was brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Yeah, it's good that. You know, for the first time ever, we've got a sim where, you know, you're flying over the most barren bit of, you know, featureless wasteland you could think of. You see a little village and you think, well, that's actually there in real life. You know, how well it's modelled, who knows, but, you know, it's kind of, it's progress.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
And that's where you come in. There's worse ways to make a living.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
My mother used to call it the machine. Oh, Matthew went out and bought a machine today. I'm still 36 miles out.
Climb 11,000 feet.
Kind of hard to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I broke through the clouds about 1,500 feet, 3 miles from the threshold. So if you're on live weather, Matt, it will come.
Oh, okay.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Roger.
Sir, could you get your paper and pen ready? We have a number for you to call. Yeah.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Back in a minute.
Have fun.
I see the islands, or the land. They want me to climb to 10,000 feet now. They're fucking crazy. Oh, sorry. They're crazy. They're cuckoo. Sun Jingbing. That's crazy in Chinese.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
My system's got me going the wrong place. Got me going to Dala.
Where's that?
D-A-L-I. Dali. I don't even know where the hell you guys are now.
Please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Nope, I lost y'all.
Yeah, Victor Tango, Sierra Tango.
Right.
No problems.
My microphone was not on. Thank you. Thank you, Kate GG. GG. Thanks, J Bob. I seen you there. I don't know how I muted it again. Hard to keep up with so many peripherals sometimes. I think that should fix it. That should fix it. No wonder I can't keep people watching this stream. There's no wonder I can't keep people watching my stream. I mute my voice and nobody can hear me. Thanks, J. Bob. All right, let's look at the map real quick. So, this is what we're going to do.
I don't know where the hell I am, but they sure screwed this up when I put all the right places in and they screwed it up.
Well, I don't know where you're headed.
It looks like it's VPL. So I don't know where the hell it is.
I'm looking on the nav map to see if I can find it even. Victor Tango Lima, you say?
Victor Papa Lima.
Papa Lima. Well, I don't see a Victor Papa Lima.
I don't know what it is. But before that is DALAN, which is probably just a waypoint. It's an interchange or something.
I don't think you've got the right flight plan loaded. But I don't see how you could have took off at the right airport. Anyway, are you going to come back to Victor Tango Sierra Tango?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. See if I can see you. Got everybody on the run on the apron waiting on you, Matt.
Well, they can go. I can just fly. I'll catch up with you guys.
Well, you're ahead of us. I mean, technically, do you want us to go ahead and take off and you just
Yeah.
Is your next waypoint Victor Whiskey Mike Kilo Alpha?
My whole plan is messed up. So
Okay.
I'll go in there.
Next waypoint I've got is Victor Tango Sierra Sierra.
Sierra, right. You're right. I went one ahead. What do you guys want to do?
Just go ahead and do what you're going to do. This thing's got me going right from the first place right to the end run. I put all my waypoints in and everything and screwed it up.
Well, all right. So we want to go ahead and take off? Everybody ready, or what's up?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All righty. Change my resolution one more. See if maybe that'll speed it up a little. That might work.
Are you backtracking Boseda or going that direction?
I'm taxing to 08 and taking off from there.
Okay, thank you. I'll wait here then. I'll do a short field takeoff from here. I'll wait for you guys to go.
Okay.
I can't even correct it, no matter what I do.
What you're looking at there, the G1000 there, Matt?
Well, it just won't delete what it's got in there, the waypoint and everything. It won't delete it.
So if you go to origin, delete the origin, and put the origin in where you are, and then just go straight to destination, and then you can add in the waypoints after that. So clear origin, clear destination.
Where is origin? I don't see origin on this.
So if you go onto your flight plan, so do it from the, you've got two screens, right? Two G1000 screens. Do it from the one that is nearest the captain seat. So the left-hand seat, G1000, go to flight plan from there.
Yeah, you go to flight plan and then what?
You see where it says origin, en route, and then destination?
No.
It does say it, I promise. I'm just trying to remember the G1000 now.
I get the NXI in this thing, so it's all updated.
Yeah, that's exactly what I use, the exact same one, the 0.90 I think it is. On flight plan it will have somewhere origin, en route I think it says, and destination.
Okay, hold on.
Please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
I don't see any of that unless I'm just not hitting.
Are you pressing the actual flight plan key, the actual flight plan button?
Yes. FLP.
So is it not listed like your different waypoints?
It has a flight plan in there, VTSP.
Is that your origin?
Yep.
So go into that and you should be able to amend VTSP. If you're on a mouse, try holding left click and then tapping right click over it.
Matt, what's your heading? Uh-oh. He disappeared. Did he drop out of Discord?
No, still in Discord.
No, I'm still here. I'm out of the picture.
Yeah, okay, I see. We lost somebody.
Yeah, it was me.
Sorry, Matt, I was just trying to remember, just do it from memory, that was all. But I do kind
It's
of...
not your fault. The computer won't let me do it. As simple as that. When you can't do it with the mouse, and you're supposed to be able to type this stuff right over it, and then it doesn't work. So
From memory, it had like the where it said it. You could just go and highlight over it and then retype over it.
Yeah, I tried that 5 times and it doesn't work.
Okay, what about going over into
I'm
the...
out of it. I'm out of it. I went back. I shut it down.
All right, no worries. I was going to say next time if it happens, try go over it and press CLR, the CLR key. That should do it as well.
So you're going to spawn back into somebody, Matt, or are you done for the day?
No, I'll spawn back in a minute.
You sound pretty frustrated.
No, I'm just trying to do something here.
Hey,
if there's one word that describes this sim, I think frustrated is pretty much up there.
Okay, now how do I spawn in? Oh, wait a minute, I got to do my.
just find me on the map and click on my icon on the map, and it'll tell you off to the right. You'll see a box that says, where I'm going, my flight plan, and then tell it set departure. Yeah, every time I set that autopilot to climb, I end up falling behind. Drop down to about 20 knots and everybody passes me. Ready one in the Tomcat. Sure wish we had distances on these tags. Tell who's actually with us.
Yeah, me too.
Just seems like a simple fix, and they haven't bothered.
They've always had it in other sims, though, haven't they? FSX, FS9, it all had it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. They've already got the code. They own the code, so I don't see why it hasn't been done that way. Our maximum height on these hills is going to be about 3,000. So if you want to set your altimeters about 35 or 4,000.
I'm glad you said that because I'm in a big, thick pea soup cloud here and I can't see anything. So thanks for that.
Yeah, the little nav map said 3,000 is just slightly too low. It's got a red line across there, and that means you got to go about 1,000 over it. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you. I'm gonna set 4,000.
I actually did a little bit of research on this one. Usually I just fly it and make sure that it's gonna make the trip. We ran into that one scenery you couldn't even get around.
Well, I'm glad you researched this one because I'm on live weather, can't see anything, and you'd be scraping me off the side of the mountain.
I think I'm going to start something new and start the flights actually in the setup process. Where we loading flight plans and all that. That'll be good for the stream too. I think I'll actually start streaming probably an hour, 40 minutes or something early. Depends on how long it takes. Going to take me to set up. Most of the streamers do that, and we usually just take off and go because I've got it all ready. But this way it'll at least force me to take some action and research some of this altitudes and stuff. I just fly by wire.
Yeah, I'm reloading. It's reloading right now, so.
Did you click on me and spawn in?
No, I'm just reloading the whole thing. I found out what I did. When I clicked on one of the things, it says add, and I must have hit set or whatever the other one is. You go in the search thing and you put in the code like VTSS.
Right.
It must have hit the wrong thing. Okay.
I must say that the G1000, especially the MXI, it's pretty versatile though. Generally speaking, you can.
It's not that. It's not the machine. It's my mouse.
Your mouse driver's up to date?
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Every time I go past that halfway point on my throttle, I overspeed. I can't seem to get a happy medium.
Okay, I'm right behind you guys now.
You coming from the airport?
Yep.
So you're almost an hour behind us.
I see Ready One, Tomcat, Lone Stern.
Yeah, Tomcat's coming towards you though.
Right.
You don't see our tags?
Yeah, I see all the tags.
Okay.
I see everybody right there. Iceman, Lone Stern.
Cool.
They're all okay.
So this GG Force that came, it has been flying with us. He's on the stream, but his mic's broke. He apologizes for not being able to join the Discord with us, but wanted me to know who he was on the Twitch stream. He's Caper Benaveral. Cape Carbonavral, I'm sorry. But that's who that GG Force is.
Well, I've had quite a nice idea. I don't know whether you agree or disagree. Obviously, it's an open forum. So obviously, we've got quite a regular bunch of guys that are doing these flights. It'd be quite nice for us to visit each of our home countries on this tour.
I have uploaded this morning a PDF which I created from the original world map that I'm basing this, not world tour that I'm basing this these flights on. It's a PDF, and it would list. You could find out if it's coming close to your town or going to pass through from that list. It's on I created a new room on Simply Simulator, and it's sectioned under the World Tour section, so you won't have any problem. Just World Tour Info, I think is what I called it. And it's kind of a long in depth, but it gives you all the information of all the airports that are originally on the world tour, the whole thing. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Say again?
I said yes, I'll check it out.
Okay, I'm all settled. What happens is there's a way you can set the lock and the switches light up when you touch them, but I haven't got that set up, and it's kind of hard to play around with. Everything on here looks like it's small in writing too. You know what you were saying, Chris, about flight plan?
Yep.
Okay, my flight plan. Okay, I got one on each one, so I was looking at that, and I went to the flight plan, and the plan lit up. It showed up, and the next destination was highlighted, and that's what I was trying to do. Type over it, and it wouldn't let me.
Right, so to do that, once it's highlighted, you go to the knob, and there's a big and a small knob, obviously. You go to the small knob, I think, and then it will open up like where you can start typing it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I didn't do it right then.
And then what you can do, there's two ways of doing it. You can either use your mouse, obviously cursor, that way, which is the long-winded way, or you can actually use your keyboard. But to use your keyboard, there's like a little symbol to the right of the code. I don't know how to describe the symbol, to be honest. Like an ice flake or something like that would probably be the best way I can describe it. If you press that, then you can actually type it on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what happened. I didn't. Yeah.
But it's difficult without, obviously, it being physically in front of me. It's hard to explain it when I've...
Right.
You know what I mean? Half of this stuff on the NXI I do, it's kind of second... it's just, you don't even think about it, do you, sometimes?
Right. Well, it's new, it's, got to play around with it.
Yeah, and I'm learning new things all the time. Every update they do on it, I'm learning new things all the time. It's got so much depth. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well, you know what, Matt? I stand corrected. He was coming at us. Ready One is that Tomcat, and he's flying around with us, it looks like, in that Tomcat.
Okay.
He was coming head of us, or coming head on into me, and now he's kind of at the same level doing the same thing. So I don't know if he's in the, I don't think he's in the Discord. J Bob added me. Okay. Appreciate the ad there, J Bob. I'll get that when I'm got a second here. But I'm not sure who. So much for low and slow, he says. Well, this is pretty low and slow. GG.
Any lower for me at the moment, I'll be picking shrubbery out of the aircraft.
I'm fixing to hit the deck myself.
The next place is VTSS, right?
AFib.
Something that caught me kind of interesting on this this flight, all of the Sultan airports, Sultan Aslan Shah for a good example, are located. When maybe it wasn't the Sultans. Trang and the common denominator is runway 81 and 26. And all of the airports looks like in that category are located at 81, 83, 26. They're all orientated in that same direction. I thought that was kind of interesting. Apparently
it's the prevailing wind, isn't it? Generally from
is that how they figure it? Okay.
So we're not too far, and when we start getting down into Malaysia, we're not too far away from where MH70 set off.
Where what sets up?
Where MH70 set off. You know the aircraft that went missing, the Malaysian Airlines.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Oh, MH370, I think it was. Sorry, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we're heading down towards that way. We're not too far away in maybe a leg or two's time.
Roger. Yeah, if you know, like I say, if you want to download that PDF and see where we're going on it, I hesitate to upload the whole flight plan, the whole 71,000 mile original. We ended up with more like 73 or 75 before we're done, depending on how many more cuts I make. But you can get an idea, kind of a feel for where we'll be. The original plan was set up obviously for airliners and could make 1,000-mile jumps, and I can't do that in the helicopter, so I'm having to improvise and revise that PDF that I created some on every flight. What I'm trying to get at is, there's a lot of areas. If there's anything in those areas that you want to tool around, we could spend the whole day at 100-mile circle, or we could fly, say on Sunday, fly those points of interest.
Yeah, I know we were speaking about that last night. I mean, the only thing I'd say about a Sunday, and I think maybe Bo Sader can back me up on this. Obviously, we're quite way ahead of you guys.
Right.
So the last thing I could do is on a Sunday evening late on is doing the flying, whereas if it was earlier on, maybe that would be helpful. So maybe some sort of compromise on the time.
On the Sunday flights, we could sure do that. The only reason I hesitate to do that on any of the of these flights is people like Gigi, people like the gentleman that joined us yesterday that hadn't been with us. J. Bob, this is his second day in a row, but he joined last month, I think, sometime. And, you guys are pretty much every week. And that's cool, but not everybody's going to be able to do that. A lot of people are working and things like that. So, yeah, but the Sunday, I want to keep that regular, but the Sunday flights and, any other days of the week, sure, just post it on Hype on group flights and let me know, I'll fly.
Yeah, definitely. I think the point I was trying to make really more than anything was that obviously I'm 5 hours ahead of you and Bo Sader's 7 hours ahead of you. So really all I was going to say was if we were going to do any extracurricular activities on a Sunday, maybe come up with a compromise of a time so it's, not 6 o'clock here and, 8 o'clock Bo Sader's time in the evening kind of thing, that's all.
Right, I got you.
Only because we've got to be up for work in the morning, that kind of thing, really.
Right, on Sunday night for Monday, right. That's fine. On Sunday, I could do that. Even on a Saturday night, I could do that. But my night puts you at about 3 o'clock in the morning, so...
Saturday night, not a problem.
Oh, there goes that... nosedive again. I was doing so good.
Bo Sader, I am right in saying that, aren't I? You're 2 hours ahead of GMT.
That is correct.
And I don't know the difference between Zulu, UTC, and GMT. What?
They're all the same. They just renamed them Zulu is GMT is Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah.
Okay, Zulu is the same thing,
Okay.
and then they just named it to UTC.
So it is all the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think UTC is something like Universal Time Coordinated or something along those lines.
Yep.
So is what they use on the METARs. So they'll use Zulu on a METAR just to signify that we're talking about GMT or UTC. I hope that cleared that up.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it confused me when I said it then.
Well, the only thing I was, trying to decide, because I hate to say I'm -5 UTC, and I thought Zulu was the same thing, and I wasn't sure about Greenwich Mean Time, so I just
It's all
wondered.
the same.
Yeah,
I'm used to it from the military because every time we got a message in, it had Zulu time, and that's what you had to figure out when it was written, because it would say you have this many hours to comply,
I'd like to know who this Ready One in that Tomcat is.
I say that's what's nice about living in the UK, that we don't even have to think about it because that's just the time it is.
Want to do a touch and go on this runway, or you want to fuel?
Both
don't
are
matter to
fine
me.
for me.
I got fuel.
Well, Ready One has indeed joined us. He has, looks like, wheels down at Sierra. And I think, Bozetti, you've passed it, right?
I'm just above it.
Okay, so are you going to let... I'm just trying to find out if we won't land, because I'm 3 miles out.
Well, I don't know.
It's going to be kind of a long flight. If we hit every one of these airports, it's going to be that much longer.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I got all day.
I'm gonna do touch and go.
Yeah, okay.
Unless someone wants to, full stop.
Roger. I'm just going to come down to it and kind of harass that Ready One.
You guys are headed right to Victor Thomas Sierra, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's where I'm headed.
I'd like to know who he is. He's not Ready One in Twitch. If he's on the server, I think I will stop real quick and just kind of touch down and look over on my Simply server and see if he's hanging out there or something.
Do you want me to have a look?
What's that?
Do you want me to have a look on Simply server?
Oh, if you got the dexterity like that, sure. Just see if you. I don't see Ready One. I don't remember a handle like that on my on my guest entries.
Okay, stand by.
I mean, but it could be. See if he's sitting in that room. Yeah.
I seem to be in a lot. It looks like a lot of mountain hills.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
No, I'm not seeing him, Iceman.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen the handle, but he's definitely flying with us. Rosetta has wheels down and back up.
Where are you, Iceman? I can't see you.
I'm over here in front of the Tomcat.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to scan down here down my list and see if maybe he's sitting in one of the other rooms.
We're getting real close, huh?
No, he's here. He's here.
Where?
I'll be right back. Ready one. Ready one, talk to me. I spoke to him, he disappeared on me. Dropped out of the server, sure did. I was going to send him an invite. I see you there, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone in here, Brad.
I'm going back. He was here. He disappeared. He dropped out. I spoke to him and he dropped out.
Not when I looked at it, but fair enough. I'll see you over there.
I'll be back. Okay, I don't know why. I just really don't know why, but I spoke to him in Simply Server and he don't want to talk to anybody apparently. Maybe that's why he joined the Simply Server instead of the Hype servers.
But why would you join a server at all if you didn't want to speak to anyone?
I don't know. That's why when I spoke, maybe he doesn't speak English and he's starting to take off though.
Come on, none of us barely speak English in this group, let's face it.
Right. I know I don't.
I struggle.
I blame it on not having any teeth.
That'll do it.
You gonna stay at altitude low or are you gonna touch down?
No, you guys seem a bit faster than me today, and I'm at full pelt, so I'm just going to carry on.
Okay, I'm wheels up or skids up and acquiring aspect. Bozetta, do join us.
I can't see you guys. Where are you?
I'm right above you.
Oh. No, nothing.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I thought you were at the airport.
No, Bosader's off to 2,000 feet. Bosader is on route.
Yeah, I see you touched down and went on. I remember that. I thought you turned around and went back to the stayed on the airport.
No, I'm en route.
Okay.
No.
Look behind me and see if I see anybody still down there.
Yeah, I'm
no, we're all airborne.
What did you say, Matt? Sorry?
I said I'm at 2,000 right now. And I see the runway and I'm just flying over. No stopping.
I was talking about the Tomcat was a joke, wasn't it? Oh, you're talking about the Caper Canaveral, that's Gigi up there. He says, so much for low and slow, I didn't get it. I just looked up and he finished typing in a few more. He says, he was talking about that Tomcat, so much for low and slow. So isn't that an F-14 Tomcat? I think so. So you see the same thing in southern Louisiana where a lot of runways are orientated at 1533-ish. Okay, I hadn't noticed that. Good information. Due to the prevailing wind of the Gulf of Mexico. Got it. Colgan Air Flight 3222 landed on the wrong airport at one point, partially because of that. Prevailing wind runways, I guess, is what he's talking about.
We had a guy land on the wrong carrier.
Well, that'd be hard to do.
There were 3 carriers out there in a delta formation.
Well, don't you have to be in constant contact with the pit boss?
Yep. But I guess he was on the wrong channel. He got our pit boss, and he was coming in, and he landed, and they said, "Okay, park him." You know.
Now, how do they even land one that isn't doing responding to the right commands? If he's receiving ships from another command.
No, he was on our frequency, and he came into our loop, and he landed on our carrier, and they tell him, "Okay, park him," you know, and then they send him up the air boss. The air boss says, "You're on the wrong carrier, boy."
Oh. Yes, Whiskey Mike Kilo Alpha is next. I'm not sure how far that was from here. I need to remember to start writing those things down too.
I've got 42, I think. 42.
I got 37 on my POI, yeah. So I just tagged all of these. So the original flight plan took us straight through and didn't do any of the airports. So I revised it this morning and got us into the right air. What do they call it? Restrictions. What do they call that? Airspaces. Got us into the right airspaces. The original had us in danger areas and restricted and all that. So
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
I come off that detent just a little. Back up to overspeed. Well, we got the mystery of GG Force solved. Next one's going to be Ready 1 1283, and to figure out who he is on the chat lines. Let's see.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
I'm going to just look and see if we had an answer to that riddle from yesterday.
What was the riddle?
Yesterday's riddle. Trying to scan down and find it now.
Didn't know we had one.
Well, I put one out there. Unfortunately, the girls that participate in this on the church website don't give the answer away until somebody answers it right. It's kind of a... Okay, the question was, what do people do that nobody can ever see? What do people do that nobody can ever see?
Think.
Thought.
Can't stand this nose down attitude. Drives me crazy. Okay. Oh. What? Okay, I got the answer.
H145, please
People cannot see you making noise. I don't know how that fits. What do people do that nobody can ever see? Make noise. I think we had another lame one that wasn't very good.
I didn't quite get that.
I didn't either, because if you're banging on a pot making noise, you can certainly see the action.
Yeah.
You can't see the noise. But if that's the answer, your answer of fart would have been right.
I was thinking think. I said think.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
You can't see somebody think.
Yeah, you can. If they're deep in thought, most of the time you're going to be able to see that. But there again, if they're making noise most of the time, you can see that. So I don't know.
So what was the question? How'd that read?
What do people do that nobody can ever see?
You can see their expressions about thinking, but you can't see the thinking itself.
Yeah, you can't see the thinking any more than you can see the noise. Yeah, I'm not real thrilled with that one. That was pretty lame. We had one more that was pretty lame one time.
Sorry guys, I had to just disappear for a minute. Just a quick one. Anybody on live weather?
I am.
Okay, so Bosadra, I'm at 5,000 feet and I can't see my hand in front of my face. Is it any better down below?
Yeah, I'm at 2,000. It's a bit better. I can see the ground every now and then.
Is there any terrain that I need to be worried about, or is it all flat?
Should be all flat to the next airport.
Okay, thank you.
No problemo.
I tell you, live weather, there's some real thick black clouds up here.
Yeah, that's why I came off the live weather. I didn't figure it'd be very good flying for the helicopter. We hit that one yesterday, and I got so much turbulence it turned me upside down and cut the grass.
Yeah, a bit of chop yesterday, wasn't there? Got somebody in a PC6 here, who's that?
Gigi says you can't be seen growing taller. And he also said talk and think were his guesses. I don't see how make noise is any better than any of those. So kudos to all of them.
Well, I've got one, but it's pretty much the same as the other one that somebody mentioned. But you can't be seen dreaming.
No.
Yeah, true.
There's a lot of answers to that one. I'm not good with that. I'm gonna have to tell Tamara she's gonna have to revise that. There's too many better answers. Make noise? Watch me make noise. When your kids are making noise and you want them to stop, don't you say, stop that?
Usually, yeah, you don't say unless they're making a big noise. You could say keep it quiet.
What do you do when they're making noise? You go and look and see what they're doing.
That's one, yeah.
Is that what you do? I just go berserk, Matt.
You don't say, I don't want to see you make that noise again.
No, you just say, I don't want to see you again.
I think grow taller was a good answer, though.
I don't know, a little tenuous if you ask me.
Sultan Abdul Halim.
What has 4 eyes and can't see?
Potatoes?
Anybody?
Leave it with me. Leave it with me. 2 minutes. Let me think.
2 eyes.
4 eyes.
Eyes.
4 eyes and can't see. Iceman, you should know this one. You're from America.
I do know it, and I can't think of what the answer is. I was thinking it was a potato.
Nope.
Nothing to do with like the word Mississippi or anything like that, silly.
Yep, that's it. Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I've just surprised myself.
Where's my noise maker? I could give you a blurb for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, blurb.
That's an old joke.
Genuinely never heard it before.
Where's my applause on my blurbs? Oh, applause is not there. Why?
The only thing I don't get there, Matt, and I'm probably being a bit stupid, but I don't get the can't see part.
The Mississippi
What do you want to
River.
tell Joe Biden right now? What's up, baby?
Yeah, still don't understand the cannot see part.
It's not a sea, it's a river. Can't see.
With you. Oh God, so sorry. God, that's me being stupid. Yeah, got you.
I can't find an applause in my blurbs.
I'll just take it as red ice, man. Thanks for looking anyway.
Okay, well.
Hey, are we doing a full stop or touch and go?
I go with popular opinion.
I'm easy.
Hey, Easy, how are you? You got a girlfriend? You got a sister?
I have actually, yeah. You wouldn't want to meet her though.
Is she easy too?
You can tell her that if you want.
She wouldn't take that very well.
Personally, I wouldn't bother.
You'd only say it to her once, huh?
You only say it once.
Yeah, pretty much.
You only say it once because you wouldn't be around after that.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. I think it's 68 miles.
Hey, my brother, go ahead.
Well, I'm looking to see if that was 68 before or after. Pull up the nav map.
My brother had a friend. His name was Toby Hoare. Okay, Hoare. And he used to tell everybody, he says, I have a sister. She's engaged to a guy named Eager. And in the wedding, in the newspaper, it said, eager to wed.
Good effort.
Let's see. What did I come back to Discord for?
Getting a little dark out here, huh?
Yeah, I'm at 2,000 now. Dropped down to 2,000. It still is black.
Well, we never decided whether we're going to land here or not.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I could have a small break.
Okay.
Nice.
Can someone give me some sort of cloud-based altitude, though?
Well, mine says 3,500 feet, so for entry, pattern entry.
Just wondering about the cloud base, that was all. To me, it looks like it's all the way down to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got to say, it adds an extra sort of level of immersion, I think, with this live weather.
It'll keep you on your toes, won't it?
Oh, yes.
It got you biting your fingernails?
What fingernails?
Uh-huh.
I used all those up in the Himalayas.
So after Kuala Lumpur, there's a island of Malaysia that is actually, the whole island seems to be military. And I'm pretty sure that's the one that I was thinking about. It's going to be more like a four-hour trip. It's every bit of 400 miles. We'll have airports to be able to fuel at, but it's still going to be a long flight. And I didn't know if that's what it was that I was going to ask everybody. See if before I post it, if we want to cut that one in half or go ahead and fly the 4-hour flight. It'd be 2 short flights or 1 long flight.
Well, personally, I'm easy either way, but if we were to do the 1 long flight, all I would ask is, can we be away quite promptly? You know, normal time, but just away straight away.
I'm not understanding what you're getting at.
Okay, so basically we set off at 6 p.m. GMT, yes?
Right.
So all I'd say is, I'm easy either way. I can do 2 flights or 1 flight. I'm easy either way. But if we were to do the 1 long flight, can we try and be away straight away for 6 p.m. GMT as opposed to, you know, milling about for 15 minutes?
Right. Might even, well, I hate to move it up an hour. That calendar is so useful for people like, I mean, we've got 2 of them that, you know, it seems like most everybody, that's where they get the information from to start with.
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting you move the time at all. Just all I was saying is, if you were to decide to do the 1 long flight.
Yeah, let's be ready, everybody be there and go.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but I'm easy either way, personally. I'll do 2 flights or the 1, whatever anyone else thinks.
Well, I don't have to post it right away. I forget where it was. I think it's right after Kuala Lumpur.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it's like, just make the takeoff time. This is the time we're gonna take off, and everybody be there and ready. Everybody be there 10 minutes early or something.
I'll make the statement on the calendar, leaving promptly at 1300. I can't get this fuel island to work. Is that a...
Are you guys stopping there?
Yep.
Okay. I'm 12 miles out.
Is that a
Yeah, I
steerman?
guess you probably should ask Bo Sada more than anyone, to be honest, Iceman, because I suppose he's sort of 7 hours ahead.
Yeah,
So,
he's another hour ahead. Yeah. Well, that's
another 2 hours.
that's why I say, you guys are always welcome to, quit early or whatever. It just, I want to accommodate. So I thought I'd throw it out there and see what we could agree on.
I'm seeing a Lufthansa Airbus 320 here. Doesn't seem too realistic.
I see jetways that are not attached to the airport, to the terminal.
Yeah, I just realized that as well. What's that?
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, you're not going crazy.
Yeah, they do things different in this part of the world, that's for sure.
Well, I landed in Kansas City and there were no buildings, only jetways.
Whoa.
Kansas City International. I had to screenshot
I'm
it.
going back in a few minutes.
Yep. Me too. I'm going to step real quick. I'll be right back. So we're going to take a break here real quick. I see 4 active viewers. Excellent, excellent. Appreciate y'all joining. And hey, click follow up there. Helps me out. I'm going to take a break at this airport real quick, and we'll be back in a jiff. If I can find my tools.
I'm absolutely in awe every time I look at these volumetric clouds that Microsoft have done.
Yeah. Enter left traffic, runway 4. Oh, here we
Just be careful, Matt, you've got an idiot in the name of Loaster 1 backtracking down the runway.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the entry pattern now, so. Yep. I'm getting ready to land here.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
You are welcome.
You know, when I first joined this server, Iceman, you used to serenade us. Not an hour would go by without hearing "Nobody knows." The singing's gone, man. I know you're not a performing monkey, I get it. Okay. I'll tell you the one thing I did actually the other day. You've got 2 YouTube videos, haven't you? I had a look at those the other day. Yeah, like I said, I watched the first one where you were testing it and you were flying through a valley in the. Yeah, well, like I said, get it on YouTube, any of these, and I'm happy to watch them back.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Well, give us a shout when you do it, and I'll check them out.
What's the next one? WMKB?
Affirm.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Are we going?
Okay, I'll be right there in a minute.
This live weather closing in. Yeah, on my screen it is.
Okay, so we're back. I think everybody's getting off the ground now. J-Bob, I see you on the ground there. Joined us at this airport to finish the flights. Welcome, welcome. I saw you in the Twitch server, but I didn't see you flying with us.
I'm ready.
Hello, ready?
Is that like Helen ready?
No. No, that's like Helen Wait.
145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Okay,
Taking off?
everybody
You all
but you's in the air.
Okay, I'm on my way.
That's not quite true. J-Bob's just taking off now. And I had to turn my resolution down a little bit just to get a better stream. Not really getting all that much better frame rates than I was, but at least it's flyable.
We've got any significant terrain between here and the next waypoint? Any significant terrain in terms of altitude?
I believe that mountain in front of us.
I'll have to take if there is a mountain in front of us, because at the moment I can't see anything. This cloud is thick.
Copy that. The terrain looked pretty much flat, with the exception of a couple, and the maximum altitude of the whole flight was 3,000 feet. That was the maximum required.
Minimum safe altitude 3,000 feet then. Okay, thank you.
Copy. So I can't see. Oh, he is in a PC-6. Okay, so you saw him earlier, didn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't see him. Cool. Glad to have him with us. Everybody.
That one, that PC-6, the one thing that reminds me of is the film Air America with Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Great film.
Never been much of a Mel Gibson fan myself. Not that I don't like his movies, because I do. I thought Glover and him was an excellent pair.
No, I mean, to be honest, it was more about the film than the actors. Although Robert Downey Jr. was pretty cool in it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I've never been much of a fan of him, but I do like his movies. I'd go so bold as to say I probably wouldn't like John Wayne either, but you better watch out.
Get off your horse and drink your milk.
These guys all would like to hit you, but I'm not gonna hit you. Oh, it's got.
Do you feel lucky, punk? Huh? Do you?
Make my day.
You better watch out, Pilgrim.
Now that is a proper impression. Well done, Matt.
You ever hear the Richard Nixon song?
No, go on.
Oh, easy now. Do I gotta mute this?
No.
Okay.
I beg your pardon. I hid the money in the rose garden. Me and Brezhnev made a really great deal. All the wheat and the money we could steal from the USA.
I am not a crook.
I am not a crook. My brother made that song up. He used to write, little songs like that all the time. He did one about, I can't think that minister's name now, but he just died. He was like 100 years old.
I've done 2 or 3 parodies.
Well, I can't think of his name. His son's now the minister. He was a big minister of the presidents and everything.
Hmm.
Well, talking about ex-presidents and talking about films, Point Break. Now that is a good film.
Point Break, yeah.
We are the ex-presidents.
I'm getting rain.
Well, all this to do about taking down statues and stuff in the U.S., people having problem with ex-slave traders and ex-slave owners, and they want to destroy all of the bad stuff that has happened in history by eliminating those sources. Well, every bill we use in U.S. currency has a dead president, and most of them were slave owners.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. I don't know whether you know or not, but it's not just the US and the UK. It's exactly the same. People are tearing down statues of our history. Now,
Yeah.
I say history. History is history, good or bad.
Yeah.
It's history.
History's there to be learned from, so you don't repeat your mistakes again.
That's right.
Amen.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing about this tearing statues down. If you don't want the statues, what you do is every state should be made to make a national park where the statues all go. All the statues in one park in every state. That way, and it'd be a good historical, tour thing, And then put a plaque down the bottom telling about that person. He was a slave owner. He did this. He did that. He became president. He did, these good things. He was not good at this.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I mean, they're tearing down statues of people like Churchill and all these other people from history that they have shaped the country. Whether you like him or loathe him or whatever, it's history, isn't it?
Right.
That's right. It's there to be learned from. And then this thing about the money, they want money because their family was slaves. What about the Chinese that we brought over to build the railroads, and then their wives became hookers and stuff, and their daughters? What about American Indians who were forced off their land and stuff. You could go on and on and on about history being wrong. Well, we made some mistakes. We learned from it.
Yeah, but the problem that people like that are being judged with the benefit of today's time, but it was a different time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't George Washington a slave owner? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, he was.
I mean, I believe Columbus is even, hated in certain parts, and as a slave trader.
Well, look at when the Spanish went over to the Gold Coast of Africa, and what happened was they bought slaves and they sold them to Americans, or they sold them to the Europeans who were running America. So, what are you going to do?
Well, we had one about 6 or 7 months ago. There was big in the press that the Oxford Union, so Oxford University, the union there, the student union, and they'd actually torn down the pictures of the Queen. Now, whether you're a royalist, whether you're not a royalist, the reason they were doing it was because she had links to colonialism. So it's like, well, okay, but where does it end?
You can't.
So I have metars on.
That's the whole thing. You can't change it.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, denying history is denying the truth, and history is like it tells what we are as a people and as a.
Well, it tells what we used to be, and how it changes.
It tells us who we are actually.
Well, it does tell you who you are. It tells you who you are as a country now, because the way things have changed, for the better.
I have metars on Whiskey Mike Kilo Bravo if anybody's interested.
Okay. Is it raining?
It is light rain. A few clouds at 1,000.
Okay.
The big question there, Iceman, is: are you going to be singing in the rain?
Singing in the rain, singing in the rain. No, probably not.
Roger that. Well, I'm at 3,000 feet, Iceman, anyway, and based on your recommendation of a minimum safe altitude, if I end up putting this into a side of a mountain, then you're getting the bill.
Well, I told you 3,000 was minimum. That shows, that's not reflecting 1,000 above ground level. That's ground level.
Well, an altitude is height above sea level, isn't it?
Right. Yes. But I think if I am, I may not be. There's a little ridge here. You can go around it, but if you're flying in density, I'd tell you 3,004, 5, somewhere around there would probably be. I wouldn't go no lower than that.
Okay, well, I can't see the ridge, so I'm heading up to 5,000 then.
Yeah, you'll be plenty.
3,000, and I just cleared the mountain.
3,000?
Yes,
yeah,
3,
the entry path is 1,600 feet, so.
Yeah, he's just worried he's going to run into this hill that I'm going next to now.
The problem is, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot see anything, and the avionics in this aircraft are basic, so it's pretty much visual. I've got no sort of terrain to look out for on the avionics.
Copy that.
What are you flying, actually?
I'm flying the...
I'm over level land.
Sorry, but
you are going to hit some mountains, I think.
Okay, you guys are making me nervous now.
No, there's only a hill just before this airport, about 20 miles out from this airport, a little over 25 maybe. There's a hill, but I'm flying right next to it, and I'm 3,500, and you should clear it.
Roger that. But say, just sorry to answer your question. I'm flying the Piper Arrow.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I had no problems at 3,000, and I flew right above it.
Chris, you know that terrain level thing that's on the NXI? Most of this is at 500, 600 feet.
That's color coded, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm at 500, where I am is 500 feet.
That you're above ground level.
Right.
Yeah, but the way that the NXI works it out is above sea level.
Right. So you add that to your altitude. I'm at 4,500 feet right now.
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm at 5,000 now. That should do it.
Overspeed again.
I've just experienced the worst turbulence I've ever had on this simulator.
Well, I just got some too.
I must have been flying over a ridge or something, but I've never experienced that level of turbulence before. That was quite exciting. I'm just going to go in the back and change my pants.
Yeah.
That's why you keep a pair of diapers with you.
Absolutely.
Touch and go at Kilo Bravo.
Don't matter to me.
I'm easy.
What are we doing?
Easy like Sunday morning. Yeah.
We're flying over or landing or touch and go or what?
Your choice.
Well, I was thinking about touch and go, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't need.
Okay, touch and go it is.
I mean,
Yeah, but Sada, that's why when I'm playing golf, I always take a spare pair of trousers in case I get a hole in one. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are. And your joke was too.
Come on, man, I'm 41 on Saturday. You know, I'm into the dad jokes now.
Oh, okay. Is G-Force there? G-Force is at 13 feet, so he's sitting there.
He must be down, yeah. Are you down, Caper Canaveral? He looks like he's closer to me than Boseda and you. I think he.
Yeah, this looks like.
He says he's out for the day.
Oh, okay.
Well, appreciate you joining us there, Gigi. Been a pleasure. Good to see you. I hope all's well in your life and your family and all that stuff. Later, buddy.
I'm going in for a touch and go.
Copy that.
You know, this is some of the best weather I've ever seen on this simulator in these areas.
Best weather, huh?
Is in terms of what it looks like.
Oh.
I've just flown through a cloud and it was like night time in there.
wow. Yeah, I had a couple of those a few times. Sometimes it'll get so thick you just have to turn real weather off. I can't stand it.
I do try, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It's just visually, it looks really, really good. Visually, it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to have a private talk with you about, Chris.
Okay, meteorology talk coming up.
I'm back in the.
Me too.
$67 miles to go.
I'm cleared for straight in. Runway 21. No, 36. No, it can't be. It's got to be 18. Silly me.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
So, Matt, do you like? And obviously, I know you fly the Baron. Do you like flying the Bonanza?
Yeah, it was all right. I like that too.
I love that aircraft. On the default, I think either the DA62 or the Bonanza have to be my favourite.
I had a little problem with the DA62. I'm not used to it, so.
Such a versatile aircraft, though. I mean, I'd be happy to fly the DA62 in any time, any weather, anywhere in the world. I did try the Baron once, and maybe I should go back and try it again. I was getting a constant left turn on it, and it kind of put me off at the start.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do because of the prop gyro effect?
It would do on a single-engined aircraft. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure on the twin engine. On the single engine, yeah. So you've got the torque effect, obviously, of the engine.
Right.
But what you've also got is, you can imagine the wind hitting one side of the aircraft from the propeller on the front, and that's what puts that yaw into place as well. See, this is the reason I can't wait to fly the DC-6 as well. I'm so looking forward to that.
Well, we can certainly give that a shot. Like I said, I'd like to learn more about it so I can at least land it. I made a real fool out of myself with two cats. I jumped in it and I took off. I barely got off the ground. I don't know how I managed that. I didn't have anything set the way it's supposed to be set. And I was okay till I got to the approach, and then all of a sudden things just went haywire and I hit the dirt.
Well, you did pretty well to get that far then, to be honest. I mean, I know PMDG do say that you should use the artificial flight engineer to do all your checklists. It sets your power settings, it sets your flaps, it does everything for you,
Yeah.
bar And I know they say that you should use that until you become more au fait with the aircraft.
That's what I figured I'd do is listen carefully to those checklists as he goes through them. Maybe 3 or 4 times I'll get it.
Hey, listen, my plan of action, my plan of attack when I do get it is to actually have a pen and a notepad as it goes through them.
I watched the videos and took a few notes, but it sure seems like it's intricate. It seems like, if you don't just do it, catch every little thing that happens during the flight. Like right now, I'm flying way up in the red, and I'm going to crash if I don't act quick. My mouth overloading my joystick. I have a hard enough time flying a helicopter without, manual, without I can't get the autopilot to work right on it without crashing the ground. It'll be a challenge, that's for sure.
Yeah, flying with you, I've seen more dives than Michael Phelps.
Dives, okay. I had to listen to that again. Dives. Yeah. Yeah, I get because I'm monitoring on my earbuds. I'm monitoring the stream on my phone so that I can mute the chat channel where I can see everybody chatting. But it's not muted. It's real quiet. It's real quiet. So I had to listen to it a second time to hear you said dives. I couldn't get that word first time.
Sorry, it was just a poor joke. I've spent too much time with Matt, I think.
Man, I don't know how you come up with these. That was great. Did you have to think all night on that one?
No, pen and a notepad.
Guys are crazy. Cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo.
I'm always a little wary of swearing, the odd swear word popping in because I know you're streaming. So I've got to be careful.
Appreciate that. If you want to tell a joke like that, just say, and I'll mute it out of the, cut it out of the stream. That's no problem. I don't go back and watch all of them. If I think there might have been a problem or because usually people tell me in chat if it's a silent stream and I'm not doing any audio. So I already know there's flaws in the cuts and stuff like that.
No.
Crashes make me crazy. That's right.
I'm at 3,000 and I'm well over any hills that we're coming up to.
Oh, you're not going to come up to anything. I don't think.
Anyway, Matt, keep these pilot reports coming in. They are helpful. Although, yes. To be fair, I seem to have found myself in a bit of clear space here. We seem to have broken through the cloud at the moment.
Well, I don't think you're going to hit anything at 8,000.
5,000, I'm at.
Oh, I thought it said 8. Yeah, 51.94. You're right. I'm sure you're right. I mean...
They do say in aviation there's nothing more useless than the sky above you and the runway behind you.
That's right. But part of that isn't true because sometimes the sky above you can be your friend.
That runway behind you can be a real friend in an abort situation too.
Yeah, the emergency.
You know, I did my private pilot's license probably in 2001. I sort of what you guys would call graduated, I suppose. But the one thing they always taught you, any sort of issue on climb out, never turn back, never do a 180.
Why?
Because you're going to lose too much height, too much speed trying to do it.
Okay, I'll buy that. If you haven't gotten to altitude yet, or made turns.
Yeah, that was just what I was taught. I was always taught, always have that 70-degree field of view in front of you and just keep scanning 70 degrees around you and pick a field.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that pick a field part that always bugged me.
Well, actually, in fact, I don't know whether you remember, Iceman, but me and you, I actually took you to my home airfield one time, if you remember. And as you take off, it's a grass strip, and as you take off, about half a mile in front of you are some power lines, and you were always taught, if you were struggling for power, fly under the power lines, not over them. Don't try and make it over, fly under.
Right. Yeah, I think we discussed that day. I thought it was neat. I was on Joel's flight. No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was after we flew yesterday. Forget, but I could actually see the lift cables. I downloaded a package for ski lifts, and apparently he had that. Oh, it was Fights with Fabio yesterday. That's right, last night. And you could see those cables just clear as day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a 10-year plan, isn't it, with this flight sim? I think they've always said it's a 10-year plan. And I think year by year goes by, and more of that stuff should start to get integrated more as well, shouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think they've got the power lines intended on next year.
Well, there are some power lines, but I mean, I did a group flight a few weeks ago in Geneva, and you come in to land at the runway, and there's actually a pylon right at the threshold of the runway.
Where have you seen any power lines in the sim?
Seen a few, to be fair. Well,
What? Where?
Pylons. Okay, well, I've seen quite a few in the French Alps.
Wow, I've never seen any power lines.
They are there.
I mean, I've seen power line towers all over the place.
That's what I mean by pylons. I don't know, we call them pylons, but yeah, the power
Oh,
lines.
okay, pylons, right. Yeah, but they don't have any wires attached.
Oh, no, absolutely not, no.
Yeah, they're talking about in 22 they're going to add power lines.
I see what you're saying, right, okay.
I mean, I can see how in my opinion, they have messed this traffic thing totally. Cars flying above streets and flying below bridges just doesn't cut it for me.
Oh, do you not have that in the US?
Huh?
Just joking.
But
You don't have flying cars in the USA.
I saw a flying car out there in the water yesterday.
Must just be a European thing, Bo Sader, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
It's all that stuff I smoked when I was a younger man.
One of them wasn't a DeLorean, was it, by any chance?
No. This actually, the car I saw out in the water yesterday was a van.
Just talking about that, actually, I think, I don't know about, I'm assuming it's the same all over the world, but Amazon now are talking about delivering parcels by drone.
Oh, yeah. Walmart's already got them in action.
Really?
That's what they said.
Rosada, how close are you now?
28 miles.
Okay, I'm at 32 because you're at 4,000 feet. I just dropped down to 2,000.
We've got a new entry into the Discord channel there, Iceman, DJ Eric.
Well, hello, Eric. Are you talking to me today, Eric?
A lot of times he shuts his stuff off.
Yeah, is it not muted?
It was, but it's not anymore.
Yeah, I know he was totally blacked out. He was up in the hangar for a long time.
DJ Eric, radio check. Readability 0.
He is actually my...
Pushing the button, but I cannot hear a thing.
He's actually the trainer for Simply Simulator for our training, our helicopter training center in the simulator. There's a scenery package you can download. I think it's either Utah or somewhere over on the West Coast, Missoula. And that's that's the training center. And Eric does the flight checkouts and certification for helicopter pilots on the training center I set up on Simply Simulator.
It is dark over here, boy.
But Matt, I'm just following you now. I can see some peaks coming up, but they're obscured by cloud. I'm at 5,000. Are we going to be all right?
Yeah, we're going to be all right.
Okay. Thank you.
Bo said is only at 42. He's gone over him now.
Yeah, I'm at 2,000.
You know, flying with that NXI, I feel so comfortable. But with this thing, honestly, I can't say it. It's just so archaic. I really, really am blind.
Right, hopefully my microphone is now working.
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I do apologise for that. I wasn't ignoring you. I was just had an issue and it wouldn't connect. So
Yeah, we heard the toilet flush.
that's okay, mate.
I'm going to 4,000 because there's a big hill here.
So where are you flying at the moment?
We're just over. Sorry, Bob Sader. Carry on. Sorry.
My bad. Yeah, we are flying from Malaysia.
All right. Well, I'm not currently there. It was out. Sorry, I've not been in for most of the afternoon. I was on my own. I'll be Todd for quite a while this morning. So then I popped out and I left myself in the hangar.
Whereabouts are you from, Eric?
Bedfordshire, UK.
Yeah, I'm in Manchester. I was just
just up the road.
Well, I suppose so, yeah, compared to these guys, that's for sure, yeah.
Hey, Chris, pop up to 4,000 and then you're going to have to pop back down again.
Wilco, thank you.
Well, I'm shooting straight on. I'm at 34, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it. So.
Whereabouts in Bedfordshire, Eric? Are you sort of Milton?
No, Flitwick.
Okay.
Not in Milton Keynes, no thank you. Roundabout City.
I was just trying to find the sort of nearest place towards Bedfordshire that I knew, to be honest, so...
Just off the M1, I'm about 8 miles off the M1.
Okay, junction 9.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Not far from Luton, that sort of way.
About 10 miles from Luton. Maybe 15, I think it's it's 15 miles from Luton. 10 miles from, I would say, Marsh Farm.
Oh,
It's in
brilliant.
the Luton area. Forgive me, I was busy with I'm just about to land on a couple of oil rigs, so bear with me for a minute. I'll put this thing down.
Eric, I am streaming on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't use Twitch a great deal.
No, I just thought I'd mention it so you knew.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no problem.
I wonder why you weren't streaming on here, because normally you stream on here. So.
No, the world tour I've been publicizing on Twitch twice a week.
Oh yeah, I know you were saying you were doing that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I opened up a couple things on the Simply Simulator site this morning too. Part of that World Tour information, and set some different author roles in there. So you now have you always had instructor, but you've now got cadet status, and you have permission to set those permissions.
Oh, excellent, mate. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. Instructor's a step down from cadet. How does that work?
No. You're looking. All right. No, it should be above it. Did I put it below it? I don't think I did.
Probably did, but he's just noticed it.
Now I'm gonna have to look at it. Yeah.
Stand by.
Dark and cloudy over here, boy.
See, they've sorted the dust off on here now, on the 45.
Okay, so I've just cleared that ridge there, Matt and Bo Sader. So I've got quite high mountains past the valley. Is the airport before those high mountains?
Looks like it's right over them mountains or something.
Yeah, it's before those big mountains.
Okay.
Thank you.
Runways 22 and 4 at 120 feet AGL. Or AC. ASL.
I think you mean AMSL, but good effort.
Okay.
ASL is a bit different, I think. Age, sex, location.
It's up there somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's over there. Hey, I'm in a helicopter. I don't need a runway.
Hey, I'm in a helicopter. I don't need a runway. Show off.
Why you want to pick on me?
It's all love, brother.
I know.
I'm grabbing a cuppa. I'm landing on this. So let's be back in a little while. I've been in and out, so you guys, I was sadly I've just not long got back in, and I'd left this flying around some oil rigs. Let's have a look on the map and see where you are in a minute. I'll find you.
I think we're gonna have to go over them mountains to get to that runway.
Then you're on the wrong side. I don't think so. I don't know. I got
Matt.
cloud.
It's the same thing, Matt.
Yeah. I'd get up to about 4,000 again, and drop down real hard when you get there.
Well, there's a couple of hills before the airport, but and then there's the big mountains behind it.
You must be going around the side because I'm going directly over this hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little off to the side too.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
You still with me, Chris?
Sorry, I just had to disappear for 2 secs. What did you say?
I said, is Chris just still with me?
Yep.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Eric, you still with us? Oh, I think he said he had something to do.
Oh, Sada, I'm going to need some information on this airport. Altitude.
Stand by. Stand by.
128 feet, 22 and 4 are runway.
Thank you.
Just repeat the runway again, please.
22 and 4.
I landed on 04.
Thank you. And the airport elevation?
128.
128 feet.
How can that be 128 feet? That doesn't make sense. Those mountains are massive.
Yeah, but it drops right down.
We're talking about Whiskey Mike Kilo India.
Hey, firm?
Okay. Shows me 130 feet.
I've got you 33 feet, yeah. So it's just a valley after the mountain.
Hit your Bravo key and make sure your barometer is still set.
Oh, trust me, I'm OCD about making sure my altimeter is set correctly. Trust me, that's not an issue.
No, I'm saying Bosette is sitting on the airway. He's showing 2 feet different than what is listed. The listing's probably wrong. I'm sure he's accurate unless he hasn't, calibrated his barometer.
No, it's correct.
That makes a difference.
My little nav shows 130 feet as well.
Well, that's interesting because that's where I got my information. It said 128.
That's weird.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Can't even use the same software and get the same answer.
Oh, I'm getting it. Yeah, so it's the ridge and then it just drops down into the valley, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying there, Iceman, I don't think what your barometer or, what your altimeter actually reads in your aircraft, I don't believe that's what displays to everybody else. I think it's just using a standard barometric pressure. which is going to be, I think, 1013, or I think you guys use inches of mercury. So
92.2.
29.92, is it?
Yes. Yep, that's right.
H145, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet. Kuala Lumpur Center, H145 would like to cancel IFR. H145 IFR flight plan is cancelled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 7000. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
This update has really screwed a lot of things up, but I'll tell you, the one thing it's really done on my system is really made this weather look good.
2 miles north of EPO 3,100 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace. H145.
Sorry, what was that?
Squawk 1372.
I was just saying, so the last sim update has really screwed a lot of things up for me, but the one thing that they really have done well is the weather.
Radar contact 11 miles north of
Oh, yeah, it looks great. For me, at some point, it looks a bit washed up. I don't know. Maybe it's just the sun. I can't tell.
I think it's hazy.
Oh, it looks hazy as hell here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks hazy now, but what I meant by washed out was earlier when we left. What was the first airport?
Butterworth?
Tango something? From Phuket, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I turned live weather off for a while because all I had was dark clouds, and I'm scared of the dark.
The thing is,
Of the dark.
the thing is though, it was what used to happen was you'd leave the sort of airport terminal area, and the weather would just be completely different. But now it just seems like sort of consistent. It
Yeah.
doesn't see any break in the consistency of the weather.
Right, it smoothly transitions.
Yeah, that's it. And even if it is different weather en route, it's a slow transition.
Right. Then just a wall show up all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
It did before.
How far are you guys from the airport?
Right above the threshold, but I've arrived too high, so I'm just doing a circle.
I'm 6 miles out.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to land. Gear down, flaps down. A lot of buildings outside that runway.
EPO Tower
Yep.
45 is 5 miles north, 2,000 feet with uniform to land.
It's a short runway.
H145 EPO Tower.
We don't need no stinking runway.
70 at 7. Make straight in runway 22. Make straight in runway.
When we get down here, I'll fire up little nav map and
H145.
activate that flight plan that I was thinking about. That military island really's got,
Clear to land.
I think that's where it was. One of them's got a lot of POIs. And I just think Bush Talk Radio, it calls for Bush Talk Radio down there in Malaysia because there's quite a few that are going to be pretty active. Pull that flight plan up when I get down.
I'm over by the fuel pump.
Well, that is just a little skinny dirt road, isn't it? Airport's better than the runway.
I'm on the ground. I'm over by the fuel pump.
Descending on final. I slowed down too fast.
The one thing I do wish they'd saw in this sim is these kamikaze bus drivers and airport workers.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I think they're working on that, especially on those cars that are driving on runways.
Oh, God.
What killed me was to see a forklift driving up and down the runway.
What?
I mean, a Hellraiser in a car running, driving on the runway. I can deal with that, but a forklift driver ought to know better.
Yeah, forklift shouldn't be there. It has no business on runway.
Do you know many forklift drivers? Because the ones I know would actually do that.
Yeah, probably they would, yeah.
I do know a lot of forklift drivers, actually. I don't think any of my friendly forklift drivers would do that, though.
No, I got 127 feet on my altitude.
Well, I'll look at it when I get down here.
Yeah, I've got 120.
120?
Yep.
Okay, now hit your B key.
Yeah, I keep resetting the pressure settings. I do it automatically in my own head anyway, every 2 minutes during.
I believe that. I believe that. Well, you're showing on your tag, you're showing 134.
No, nowhere near that on my altimeter.
Right. Bozetta is showing 133.
This is getting interesting.
Yeah, you're right beside each other.
Yeah. You're showing 152.
Well, I'm not down yet.
Yeah, you're in the air still.
I'm trying to get past this sand patch. Fills my IBF up. That filter cost me $10,000 last time I sat on the beach. Skids down.
Welcome.
See, I can't see what you're at now, Iceman, because you're so close, your tag's disappeared.
Huh. And see, I took a spot as far away as I could without being in that dirt.
I see him, but he's way down the end of the runway there.
I'm right behind Boseda and Chris.
Okay, I'm over at the fuel box.
Yeah, what's my altitude? It's been so dark, it's hard to see.
In this random car park in the middle of the apron.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, guys, this will end another flight with
It is 0520.
the 145 Hype Performance Group 145 H145 helicopter Airbus product. I appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you again same time, same station, Wednesdays and Thursdays, 1300 Eastern, -5 Zulu. Hope you'll join us. Take care. Thank you for joining us, and
And I am
yeah.
going to the main menu.
I'll take care now.